welcome. This is me, Jay Dyer. I have with me someone from the acting world, the acting realm. It's about time we've had a screenwriter, but we've not yet had anybody from the acting field. And she's not just an actress, she's also a producer, a director, or now take that back, a writer, an actress, and a producer. Have you done any directing?
Yes, I have, yes.
Okay, cool. We'll get into that. So I have with me MaryBeth Schroeder. She also does modeling. She's kind of a diva, not as much of a diva as me, but as I look through her photos, nice looking stuff here. Nice looking stuff. So MaryBeth, welcome.
Hello.
So you hit me up, I think, a while back on Twitter, and you liked Jay's analysis material. I appreciated that. It's nice to have a reader out there.
I forgot what I was Googling, but I was like, oh, your analysis is along my lines of esoteric. I shall follow you on Twitter. This is it.
Right. Yeah, not many people do that kind of analysis. There's a couple sites that do it, and of course I think mine's better than those other sites.
Of course, you think yours is number one. Number one. Well, I think a lot of them are really fear-mongering, aren't they?
Exactly.
I think that whenever somebody picks apart something for its esoteric value or symbolism, it's automatically laced in with, it's like automatic conspiracy, automatic fear-based stuff like Vigilant Citizen. I remember I used to read that back in the day, and it was just got me scared. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to talk some smack about Vigilant Citizen because they've ripped off two of my articles, and they're there's like word for word, but there's no attribution. So that's not a
shame.
It is, right? So I'm gonna sit over here and bitch and whine and moan about it. But before we get into all that madness, let's talk about you first. Tell us about your journey into theater and the arts. This is I would assume what you've always been into?
Yeah, definitely. I'm an artist in every medium, and I have been since I was a very little girl. And there was like no other option for me in life but to do some kind of art making. I started playing clarinet when I was 8, and I had a mentor doing a lot of classical music when I was growing up who was a father figure to me, and I have a godfather who's an avant-garde jazz composer. So music was like a huge part of my life, and I was a clarinetist mostly, and I just felt I could express myself through music and storytelling really easily. And I'm kind of free-spirited type of person where I find myself in experiences and gain things and then make decisions. I wasn't at least too goal-oriented as a child. I just enjoyed expressing myself. And I guess the world didn't make me too jaded, so I kept expressing myself. And I found myself, I've had 10 years experience in New York as a model in the fashion, beauty, and art industries. And I went to college for a little while for theater, and I was with the Shakespeare company for a little while. I've been all over the shop as a performer. Like, I've performed in every medium. I've done everything from, I'm on the cover of a really high-end art nude book to I've been on stage with Vidal Sassoon, and I've been a magician's assistant, and I've done lots of interesting, edgy New York theater, off-Broadway, underground sort of stuff, and I did a web series, and I'm just only recently, maybe over the past 2 years, really committed to acting, film acting specifically, but I am going to get my master's in acting at Bristol Old Vic Theatre School in England.
That's exciting. Now
Yeah.
Wait a minute there. So when you were a magician's assistant, were you the legs or were you the top half?
I only did it for a short while, but I feel like it's one of those punchy things I throw in for effect when I say that I've done every medium of performance. Right. But my main thing that I did there were 2 tricks that I was a part of. One was called the Blade Box, which was essentially based on cues and me being able to contort inside of it at certain times. And the other one was called Psychic Surgery, which was more the magician's trick of him sort of like pulling out my guts as I fainted and ingenued.
Right. Well, now, so you were, which one? Were you the top half or the bottom half?
Oh, in the Blade Box trick, it's not a cutting a woman in half kind of trick. The Blade Box trick is, there's a box, the woman goes in there, you see the size of the box, you see that there's no tricks in it, and the magician puts huge blades through the box it seems like there's no possible way for him to do it without touching the woman, who looks too big for the box generally because I'm quite tall. But the trick is based on verbal cues and me moving out of the way, because I have contortion and gymnastics skills as well.
I noticed that. I saw you flopping about and flying.
Flopping about? I'm not a fish. I saw you flopping about. I was nervous. I wasn't sure whether I needed to intervene.
I saw your seizure videos where you were flopping about. I'm kidding.
We were all worried, MaryBeth. Why did you put that online? Medical assistance was clearly needed.
Well, I had a really dirty joke that I won't do right away because that may not be appropriate for you. I don't know you, so I can't really.
Well, one of my best friends is in porn, and I'm very okay with those kinds of jokes. I don't get offended very easily, you know.
Okay. Well, it was something to do with, I've already forgotten it now, something to do, you get in a box, but I was thinking something to do with a woman's box. Let's set it aside.
Yeah.
But
we'll put that away for later. You can take that box out again when you remember exactly how the joke goes.
Now, so you're an artsy chick, you've grown up in the arts.
Yeah.
So, but you're serious about acting, so you actually did Shakespearean theater.
Yeah, I did. I did a production of Twelfth Night with the Long Island Shakespeare Festival, and during the time, I don't have a degree. My master's degree will be my first degree, but I did go to theater school previously for a while before I went into modeling. So I left an associate's degree program early in order to go explore as a singer-songwriter and as a model and make money as a model, which was so amazing. But while I was in school, I loved classical theater. So I did a Molière, I did La Malade Imaginaire at theater school, and I fell in love with classical theater, and I won a Shakespeare scholarship, and then I ended up with the Shakespeare Company for a season, which was incredible. And Shakespeare specifically is a passion of mine, but classical theater, it was weirdly my wheelhouse. It was something that clicked with me so much more than a lot of the contemporary material that was given to me at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite Shakespeare play?
Macbeth. Yeah, Macbeth.
Is it really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like Macbeth a lot, but I also like Midsummer Night's Dream and The Tempest. The Tempest is
all
really
the
cool.
magic ones. You like all the magic ones.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, The Tempest is crazy. It's got all kinds of weird, esoteric, Rosicrucian, alchemical stuff in it.
I adore that about it, and I adore being a person who sits in acting classes. I work with the Shakespeare Forum here in New York, and so I'm often at their open workshops. And you'd be surprised how few people know about that stuff.
No, I'm not, because...
You're probably used to how many.
Well, you're right. In my... I did theater stuff in high school, so I didn't continue with that into my adult life. Although I may not yet be an adult. I guess the verdict isn't out on that yet. But the grad classes that I had where we talked about Shakespeare, I would actually bring that up. I would talk about that aspect of Shakespeare, and even the professor was just kind of like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I have no idea what you're talking about. But I know that it's there because I've read a lot of Renaissance era plays and literature. I did some papers on alchemy and John Donne and Ben Jonson and some of the other Elizabethan playwrights, and they would actually write entire plays, sonnets about alchemy. So there's no question that was the rage. Yeah.
And I think it's so funny too, because it's so funny the automatic like, whoa, you're a big weirdo response that comes up when I know something like that, or when it's so clearly there. If you've read the other texts of the time period, especially like alchemical type things, it's so clearly there. And I remember actually recently, so I spent a lot of my time at the Lincoln Center Performing Arts Library looking at old texts and really I just kind of get lost there. I'm a huge geek for that. So I remember I've gone out of my way to find specific analyses of Shakespeare's text, specifically the magic plays, the very clearly magic plays like The Tempest and Macbeth and Midsummer. And it's so funny to me how it's not just, because it's a performing arts library, it's centered on material that it, analyzes and tears apart all of these things. And there's 2 rows of Shakespeare and Shakespeare analysis, but how few, occult or esoteric things are in there is so interesting to me. And it always made me feel quite special, that I was uncovering all of this information. But it's there.
Yeah, I was going to read a quote here from Love's Alchemy by John Donne. He says, "Some that have digged deeper love's mind than I say where his centric happiness doth lie. I have loved and got and told, but should I love yet tell till I were old, I should not find that hidden mystery." So then what is that hidden mystery? He goes on to talk about the Philosopher's Stone. And the Philosopher's Stone for him in that play is just, obviously it's an analogy for love, but this is due to the preeminence of Paracelsus at that time. So Paracelsus was a big time alchemist of that era. And his, I believe it's his opus magnum that he speaks of the great work. So you can track down these, really, really in-depth, fascinating Renaissance treatises that tie directly into the theater of their day. And I think it's no different in our day. Theater or film, movies, whatever, it's still using all these same images, these same archetypal, principles, hermetic principles. Right?
Yeah, I think that they're the oldest symbols that belong to all of us, that we arrange in different orders at different times. Mm-hmm. And I certainly feel like there's this sort of artistic inheritance especially when you're a performer. I have the experience. So I did photography for a while, while I was modeling, I was exploring with photography, and I had done these portraits for a theater company, and there was a scenic designer who knew tons of esoteric stuff, and he was such a really cool passing mentor for me, and he was saying, you don't know a lot about photography yet, but what you do know inherently, you've inherited from the things that you've seen, and it belongs to all of us. Because I had done this portrait where, whether it was some fluke of technique or a weird choice in the moment had meant something to him that I didn't quite understand.
Right.
And so he explained to me that we inherit things from artists before us. And at the time I was quite naive, and I didn't quite get it. But then over time, and especially recently, this winter I did a Bride of Frankenstein piece off Broadway in New York, and it was a very dark and darkly comedic piece. But I think everything that is the trope of someone sewn together out of different parts was with me in that time. And I think especially theater, I feel, is this ritual that we perform to give light to these stories, to bring them to people. There's such a reverent attitude in most of the theater artists that I've met and I've worked with that's really beautiful. And it reminds me quite a bit of the way that I am about ceremonial magic, and it's become in a way my ceremonial magic. So,
are you familiar with Dame Frances Yates?
Not really.
It's a book you would enjoy. She wrote quite a few treatises on Renaissance esoteric hermetic stuff, and her her most famous book is called The Rosicrucian Enlightenment. It's a readable, 200, 300 page, 320 page treatise that's something right up your alley. But yeah, it's that. So you mentioned Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is obviously based on older myths of the golem in the Kabbalistic tradition. So there's undoubtedly an alchemical undergird to that novel. So, the Frankenstein mythology has been played out numerous times since. But that's the thing, is that it's so obviously, if you've read all this stuff, if you've gotten into this, it's obvious to us, I guess. But still,
even if you haven't studied, and I've met, because I work with people who are such receptive, open people,
right,
who may not have studied the same things, but understand and will be open to the fact that there is something deeper there. Because I think, especially when you're performing, you're giving yourself over to a trope for at least a little while a day, if you're good at, shaking it off to go home. But if you give yourself over to it for a little while, it's undeniable that there's something deeper going on there. And I think most theater artists I know will accept that and are very, very open to learning more because they can feel it. You can feel it before you know it.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, if you have any view or perspective on the Stanislavski method of method acting.
Yeah, well, most American actors study Stanislavski, at least basic text analysis technique in a bachelor's or associate's program, or it's the general like action intention kind of stuff that we do. And so I've found that, it's really technically helpful because I've found that, so there's like two states of being with me so far as an actor. There's one where I'm feeling totally receptive and I'm trusting my physical technique so much that I don't have to think and I'm not thinking on stage, and it's there in me and I can trust myself to do it. But you can't be that receptive. You can't be that open all of the time. Sometimes you carry other stuff with you. So I've found that Stanislavski method work helps me in ingraining that stuff so then I don't have to think about it. So for me, Stanislavski sort of stuff is book work. That's sort of like what I do in my own time when I'm thinking about how I'm going to make somebody else feel and all of the action and intention kind of stuff. But I like method, method work as far as other techniques go, where you're living in it, like you're living in the character completely.
Right.
I don't think that's necessary for me. I understand how it could be, but it's my goal in life to live a really great personal life and have a really good artistic career, and not let the inheritance of a trope and holding on to the story bleed too much in a bad way into my personal life. Because I can give myself over quite a bit, and I can see myself as a Daniel Day-Lewis type who needs to give over and live in it. But I love being healthy. I enjoy being healthy and having healthy relationships, and I'm not sure I could balance the two. So I think that high-level technique is important, and being able to turn it off is really important, is what I found. I don't think give yourself over method acting is for me, but I can understand why some people will want to live in it for the duration of whatever they're shooting or whatever they're doing. But for me, the higher technique is, can I give myself over to it for the intention of the story and then come back to myself? Because where's my autonomy as a person? And can I go back to that instead of just, filling myself with this other person's? Yeah.
Well, that's where it seems to kind of verge, I guess, just in my view, on performance art, where it's almost like the taking on the role becomes a form of art itself, and it's not really about the role that you're going to play at a specific time in a film or in the theater.
Yeah.
It's becoming a performance art in a way.
Well, I think I totally agree. And I think it becomes, I honestly, just from my experience so far on bigger film sets bigger film and television sets over the past few months that I've done bigger stuff, is that I love the collaborative environment of a film and television set, and I love that an actor is just one piece of the puzzle, and it doesn't feel as much pressure, and as long as you can get to where you need to go the way you need to do it, you do it. But I honestly think that being full-on method, if I were to ask you to call me Mr. Lincoln, for several months straight, might be really inconvenient for the cohesion of the people around. Obviously, it works for Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right. And I don't think we want you in a beard and a top hat.
Not yet.
Yet.
You don't know. I'm a bit of a shapeshifter. I could Lincoln it up. I don't know. Bit of a stretch. I'm physically a stretch. I'm not that tall.
Well, you're somewhat halfway, sort of slightly attractive, and I don't really think Abe Lincoln is.
Yeah, the jury's out. There's someone for everyone. I know Mary Todd was into it. you know.
Right. That's my halfway compliment disc that I give it. Anytime I interview a female, she gets a halfway compliment disc. So
thanks. Yeah. Yeah, but it seems like giving yourself over. There are a lot of risks with it, and I think that I did it a little too much on the last theater role that I did this winter, to the point where my boyfriend lives in the UK and I live back and forth between both countries, and he came all the way over to see me in this piece, and it was his first time in America. So I had this piece I was doing, but I was having trouble decompressing from it to enjoy the fact that my partner had crossed an ocean to see me. So I realized then, because I really like having fun and I really like being me, that there needs to be a way daily for me to snap the hell out of it, you know, or come back to myself in order to enjoy life. Because
so, what character did you bring home?
I was bringing, not that I was bringing, I wasn't in it, but I think that the mood of the piece really weighed on my heart, and it was the Bride of Frankenstein piece, because I'm on stage the whole time. And
so, in other words, you're a mega bitch, and you brought it back home. Right?
No, I mean, no.
Just kidding.
She's so in this piece, she's so very vulnerable, and it's sort of the way that the playwright had written it's gorgeous. She's extremely vulnerable and learns very quickly and is extremely innocent. But it's that trope where, you know, someone is vulnerable, but they have like they can snap back really hard to protect their vulnerability kind of thing. And I needed to tap into a more vulnerable, victimized childhood version of myself in order to do it. And so there was, not that I don't directly use my own memories to do this sort of thing, but I remember the texture of how a certain thing feels. So if it affects me and I go through, if I'm being raped on stage, I'm feeling the stuff, or at least a fraction of the stuff, or if I'm being hurt, or if I have to kill someone, or if I have to fight something, you know, I don't phone it in. I always go there, and I don't feel right if I don't go there. I'm kind of like given over to it. So the body, I think, when it comes out of doing a piece like that, when you walk out to, you know, receive the people who are there to see you and spend time with your loved ones afterwards, you're exhausted. You're physically exhausted. You're on stage for 2 hours, you know, fighting to live. And it's hard not to bring that with you. And so my trick that I figured out, because my partner and I talked about it, and I said, I have to figure it out, because I can be physically tired, and that's okay, but I can't be defensive, because that's not fair. And I want to have fun after. So what I figured out was I'm a huge Weird Al fan. So if I just listen to Weird Al, like, straight after a piece, like after I've done curtain, and I go to my dressing room and I can have a moment in my headphones with Weird Al, my wacky, goofy self comes back. And though I am physically tired, I'm okay enough to ask for some support and, you know, be cool again. It's like my trigger. It's how I get back.
That's what brings you back down to earth, huh?
The Bridge of Al, yes.
Okay. I have a quote for you. I want your comment on this. This
Sure.
is from Dudley Young, his book Origins of the Sacred. He says, the earliest gods were invoked by ritual act, dromenon in the Greek, which means the thing done, such as the sacrificial dance, commemorating the fact that our life begins and ends when they, the gods, call upon us. Subsequently, the thing was said, legomenon, as well as done, and the dromenon was on its way to becoming the drama. Once speech within the temple precincts had been endowed with the power of word magic, we have the invocation properly so called. So we go back to ancient Greek theater. We think about Sophocles, or the different traditions of Greek playwrights. We already have this conception of the individual being sort of vessel for the gods, so to speak. So then the dramas would become dramaturgy, right, where you would play out the stories of the gods. There's a fascinating Platonic dialogue, too, that I've highlighted that I don't think most people are. I never hear Ion mentioned, but Ion is the dialogue between Socrates and a musician. And they discuss the principle behind acting. And Socrates makes a curious comment that he believes that actors sort of take on a different spirit, quite literally, not in a figurative sense. And that's what I find interesting, because method acting is kind of that same idea where you completely take on a different idea, or excuse me, a different identity. But what I'm curious about is, I've talked to musicians before who, in a way, describe, say, performing, being on stage, where they almost seem out of body.
Yeah.
Is it ever that way for you, or do you feel like you're always completely conscious?
Yeah, I feel that way all the time. I mean, I think that's my danger. Because I do a lot of really physical stuff. I have this background in gymnastics, and I do fight. I'm certified in single sword, and I actually did a WWE style wrestling scene in a recent film that I did. So I have all these really interesting physical skills that I get hired for, and I come in for. So I feel like I have two selves. I have like technician self with that kind of stuff, where I'm really still learning how to perform in that and how to make that as in the moment. And then I have kind of the part of me that is so open that I trust myself to be a vessel, and I do feel like that. Because when I was a kid and I first played Mozart on clarinet, it was like, that was my first like intense God experience. Like the first time I got that right, because it was a lot of work. But then there is a moment, so I was playing the Mozart clarinet concerto, and I was like, 14? And there was like a moment in my life where I've like felt so one with the piece and so one with whatever was speaking to me, that all the work I had done technically was just, it existed in the body, because the body had trained it to know that. But whatever else was coming through was, it was total ecstasy. And I think that that's what got me kind of hooked on performing in general, was that those childhood experiences of like nailing the Mozart piece and having it flow through me. And then later on in life, discovering Shakespeare, and there's tons of technical work that goes into this stuff. And I think when we practice, when we rehearse, and when we get off book, or when we practice our scales or like difficult technical parts of pieces, whether in music or in acting with blocking or fighting or whatever it is we're doing, it's like there's a technical part of it, and if you've done your job right, you are a complete vessel, because all of the work leading up to you doing it should be you getting your physical body ready for being the vessel, essentially, so that you're not thinking, oh, what's my blocking here? I have to cross to that chair. That the action of crossing to that chair has been basically installed in the body in a way that you've done it so many times, and you trust the body, and something goes through it. So like there's this idea, there's this thing that actors, I think specifically, are always trying to get to about spontaneity, and it's like, you know, you can tell when somebody's over-rehearsed, or when you can tell that they're crossing to a chair because the director told them to cross to a chair, kind of thing, or, you know, this is what we've practiced. But I think when really wonderful spontaneity occurs, it's not just someone doing whatever they like. It's this balance between the technical that they've installed in their body during rehearsal or during their alone time, and allowing for spontaneity to exist within the restrictions. So it's an interesting balance. I think that a lot of the work leading up to a performance is highly technical and highly rote. And you gotta know how you work to do that, because you can't be thinking about it when you're actually doing it. You can't be thinking and acting at the same time. I don't think it's any good if you were there with you. If like actor MaryBeth is there with Frankenstein MaryBeth, that doesn't fly. There's not room for all those people. So you better damn hope that you installed the technical data that involves the collaboration of the piece in your body, and trust it to be there.
Now, I'm a big fan of improv, so I've done improv quite a bit on the goofy comedy side. So I'm curious, as for you, in terms of what you're doing, how much of what you do is methodically planned out in a set sequence, as opposed to, is there a large dose of improv in what you do?
Well, I've done tons of improv too, but when you're doing something, say when you're doing something like Shakespeare, I'm doing, say I'm doing Lady Macbeth. I mean, there's
well,
no.
I know there's not improv in terms of the lines, obviously,
no,
but I'm saying in terms of.
I think it's improv comedy is a totally different experience. I've done it. It's a totally different experience because you're called to kind of let things fly in and out of you really, really quickly.
Right.
And so improv comedy seems to me it's an art of wit, and you're always bringing yourself to everything. When you're building a character, you may not necessarily bring your whole self, or you're not drawing from that right away. There's a longer process. Mm-hmm. I think we would consider some things to be improvised, and I think between a director and an actor, I think that there's a great communication of like where do I have freedom. And so you, as the actor, so say I'm walking through a set and we're going to film something, and the director has told me that I need to cross because the shot's going to be really specific, and I have to hit a mark, and I have to close a door gently because we don't want the wall to move because it's a cheap set, right? So say I know all of these technical things. It's my job then to find the spontaneity between all of the technical things that I've been given. So, yeah, I think everyone sees room for freedom in places, or, there's tons of improv involved between things.
That's what I'm wondering, because I haven't ever done any, serious Shakespearean type stuff. So I've always been curious as to, let's say you're doing Shakespearean theater, and, obviously the lines are all very set, but what happens if, say, your co-person screws up, right? You have to kind of play. Do you ever have to mold that into,
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Right. Okay.
Like there was a character. There was music. There was a musical element of a piece that I did recently, and the girl who was singing at me, she was singing at me because, and I was singing back, but she was scolding me and belittling me and shaming me, but she had choked on her spit. Like, the technical thing that had gone wrong this night was that she had choked. And
are you sure you weren't with your friend at the porn thing?
Oh, no, she willingly does. She's good at that. This was not a safe choke, but she had like swallowed some of her spit, and this girl was a younger actor, and she didn't yet have the experience of how to like pick up and go. Because you see the younger people, especially when they come from a musical theater background, they are insane perfectionists. So they're really hard on themselves when they mess up. Yeah. And I'm like queen of messing up a thing. Like I or I mess up a ton in rehearsal on purpose so that we can find stuff. It's like jazz. It's like I'm riffing, or like you don't have time to be angry at yourself, essentially. Yeah. So, you have to keep going. So there was a moment, and I could tell because I knew her, she was like pissed off at herself. She was like, how could you possibly have, breathed in the wrong spit you can't control these things, I told her later. So she had a moment where she was like off with the band. And I was supposed to have felt completely abused and belittled by her. And, I was very in the moment, and I think what I did, cause I watched the tape, sometimes I watch a tape back, and I think what I did was I got more scared because she was angry at herself, and that was scarier for me. Or like, I'm usually still in the moment that I react in character, honestly, like at this point. It's been a while since I give any indication that nothing was supposed to happen, because when I'm in it, I'm in it. Like, I'm not there to fuck around. I'm not there to not be in it. So, whatever. And there were times, especially in this piece, like there's this argument between these two women, and she's making me feel horrible, and she's drinking alcohol during the song, like not real alcohol. I think it was iced tea. But there was so much room to play because I'm doing an imitation of her at her. And, some nights I would go over there and it felt appropriate to then go try to drink the alcohol and do an impression of her, like fully. Other nights it depends on the moment. There's spontaneity everywhere. As long as you don't have too rigid of a director or too rigid of blocking, there's room for spontaneity everywhere. But yeah, when you fuck up, it's part of it. Or when there's a technical fuck up, it's part of it too. Like I did, in college, I did the piece Proof, which is about a mathematician. And in that one night, something happened, and I'm like this mathematician, and I'm defending my work because people don't believe that I'd written it. So I'm defending it tooth and nail, fighting for myself, because they're saying, your father did this, and I'm like, no, I did this, because he's dead, and there's no one to say. And the lighting board operator, I guess, fell asleep on the lighting board, and it had gone completely dark for a moment, but I kept fighting because this was the most important thing in the world to this person. She's defending herself, and she's full defenses are on. And then I was asked later in sort of a panel and an adjudication of this piece, what was going through my character's head. And I was like, the world could fucking stop and go dark, but I'm not going to stop defending myself, you know? But that's what it felt like, you know? And the show must go on, of course, like Freddie Mercury taught us.
Yeah, okay.
So,
well,
you know, but there's never been a point where I freak out because something goes wrong. I think that's where all the brilliance is. That's completely where all the brilliance is when you're fucking scared and nothing's really right. And that's where the bravery is. Because if you're not scared, and there's no risk, and it's not interesting. So, that to me means, and from experience means inherently, the more risk there is, the more real it is, you know? So, those kind of things, you know, they're good.
Well, all right, question. What's the most embarrassing, ridiculous thing that's happened on stage? Your most embarrassing story?
My most embarrassing story would have to be, like, I embarrassed someone else, and it wasn't quite on stage, but it was just off stage. Because I'm usually so professional and so focused, but sometimes I get in, like, if I've gotten to be really good friends with people, and you bond quickly when you're performing with people because everybody has to be so open and vulnerable. So you bond really quickly, and it becomes automatic family no matter what you're working on. But I'd say the most embarrassing moment, like, for me to talk about and admit that I did, was that, like, there was some goofy stuff going on when I was in this Arabian Nights piece. And right before I went on stage to play a scholar, I totally just pulled down the trousers of a friend. Because I knew he had to go on, like, right after me to pose a riddle to me. And he was full on naked. And I just did it and went on stage. And I know he suffered afterwards. But that would be a horrible thing to have to deal with, and I probably wouldn't do it at this stage of my career, but in my youth. I don't know what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me, because I've done so many pieces where I'm so vulnerable and so exposed that nothing embarrasses me. You know, what could possibly be embarrassing?
Right, we can tell you have no shame.
Know? It's like, what could possibly embarrass me?
Well,
I don't know.
So, my high school play, my senior year, we were doing West Side Story, and I was Bernardo, and I came out, and it was my ex-girlfriend was playing the girl opposite me. And there was supposed to be a kiss scene, and she didn't want to kiss because she had a new boyfriend.
Oh, it's fucked up.
So what I did was I just licked her whole face. Like I went from neck up to chin up to the side of the face.
I had a friend at theater school that was his greeting. That was his, like, general greeting. Our friend Ricardo, he'd always just lick you. He'd get in there and just lick your face.
Right. I messed her up though, like you did with the trousers, so she kind of fumbled a bit, but
she felt it. I mean, the thing is that in retrospect, trouser situation was awesome because I was playing Sympathy the Learned in the Arabian Nights Tale, who famously answers all of these riddles posed to her by dudes, you know, and this was one of the dudes trying to stump me, so I felt like it was great because he came in knowing the power of my wit wit being I can pull people's trousers down, but cowering at the power of the intelligent.
The power of your wit, which includes pulling down trousers and
which includes
spitball. Were you throwing spitballs too?
No, there were no straws in Arabian Nights times, so there were no spitballs. I made that up. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So what is this Casual Hex? I see it's a TV miniseries, and it says you are Marina Negadimus. Is that the picture you have of you wearing all this gear and outfit? You've got like blue and all this headdress and I don't know what.
I don't know. There are so many pictures of me. I don't know. A
recent one. You look like an alien of sorts. I don't know.
Oh no, I'm an in-house model for Makeup Forever, and their runway shows are full body paint. So every year I'm essentially an alien. No, that's modeling career. But I wrote a web series called Casual Hex, and we did like 3 really scrappy shorts on my iPhone, and then we did kind of a better one with a small crew. And it was just an idea we were workshopping, and then I took it offline. I'm putting it back on. Casual Hex is like, it's about 2 girls who are dabbling in the occult and have wacky adventures. People have described it as a combination of like Adventure Time and The Mighty Boosh. It's like, my friend Ryan's reaction was, this is like a live action Adventure Time. So it's really just this surrealist comedy that I've written. And I play the straight man character to Brenna Gwinsnow, who plays the more bubbly, airheaded character. I'll put them back. I'm putting them back up soon. We're just trying to find. We're gonna host them through a different site soon. But there were 3 like early ones that are like super guerrilla and just really like quippy. And I play Marina, who's sort of the straight man, and she's more of the crone figure. And I would say that the other girl, the bubbly girl, is kind of the maiden in a lot of ways. So
you should have been the bubbly girl. You seem pretty bubbly. You're bubbling over. You're fizzing.
I could go either way. But you should see her. She's way more fizzy. You'd be shocked at how fizzy how effervescent.
You're very effervescent, yeah. All right, so what are you going to be doing? What's in the upcoming future for MaryBeth Schroeder? By the way, are you related to Ricky Schroeder?
I'm not. My last name is actually my step-grandfather's last name, so I'm not. I don't think I'm blood related really to a lot of Schroeders. And I think Ricky spells it differently as well.
So no silver spoon for you.
No, I had nothing. I gotta work for it. What's coming up for me? I'm doing my master's at Bristol Old Vic starting in September. I'm moving to the UK permanently. I have an agent over there. I got in for a couple of bigger auditions there, so I've built some nice groundwork over the past few years, kind of living back and forth between the 2 countries. I've signed non-disclosure agreements on I guess the 3 most recent bigger things I've shot in New York, but I have two appearances on television shows coming up this season that I'll be able to talk about in time, and one in a film, and I'm not sure when I'm allowed to talk about that. So it's always like, with
X Factor, Survivor.
No. All fiction. It's all fictional. So.
Well, I think those are fictional too, but no.
I'm sure, mostly, yeah. But, that's sort of what's coming up for me is like I'm doing this big move permanently over to the UK where I've built this groundwork and, we'll see what happens. But Bristol Old Vic's a huge deal because it's such a highly selective school and I'm such a freaking wild card because I don't have any other degrees and I come from weird New York theater and I come from modeling and but not that I don't do Shakespeare, not that I don't have a theater background, but going to do a master's program is in a lot of ways like so overwhelming for me. Just not that the coursework's going to be like, out of my league, but just that people in general have come from other degree programs and I've come from the world. Like,
well, I know exactly how you feel because
Yeah.
my interpretive dance got me into Juilliard, so.
oh, really?
No, not really.
See, because I would believe that. Because my experiences, I believe things based on my own experiences, which are apparently fairly singular. Because I have some pretty bizarre experiences, so I would straight up believe that.
Well,
Because I wrote to Bristol and I was like, hey, what's up? I don't have a bachelor's degree, but here's my resume, and I want to do your master's. And then they were like, yes. And then they were like, we're offering you a spot on the course. And I was like, well, shit. I was right. This is gonna be nice. Because I wasn't gonna go back to college unless it was the best in the world. And so, if I didn't get in, I wasn't gonna go back. I was just gonna keep plugging away, as a union actor in television film with an agent. Which is great. I've laid that groundwork. But I wanted to go back to train, but if I was gonna go back to train full time, it had to be what I considered the best in the world, which I do with this program.
well, multi-talented, fancy. So, okay, now this is the segment where anytime I have girls on the show, and yes, that's not PC. You're a girl. You're not a woman. They get to hear, and your boyfriend's gonna fly from the UK and beat me up. So you get to hear my bad pickup lines. These are all original. You ready?
Okay, I'm gonna give you a review. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta. Now they're all original, and you get to pick which ones really get you going here. Okay, ready?
Okay, yes.
Drum roll. Number 1. Is your mom single? No good. Okay, let's start over. Ready to curl up with a box of wine and a pack of Virginia Slims and watch The View?
Oh.
Oh, damn. Okay. I just got my welfare check. Which dollar menu item would you like on our date?
No. I'm a vegetarian.
We could probably still get a salad on the dollar menu. I don't know.
Do they have that? That
I
sounds
don't know.
horrible.
I don't go to the
Like,
dollar
it's
menu.
the lowest of the low. See, I can't. Okay, keep going.
All right,
Go
we're
on.
not done.
You're
This-
like
The
really
train wreck is still going. So I talked to my psychic today, and Miss Cleo said we have to go out.
No.
All right. Well-endowed janitor seeks a mess to clean up.
What?
Well-endowed janitor.
No, I got it, but why?
Okay. Let's go have to hit you with a hardcore ones then. It's not going well. Crash and burn. I'll cook breakfast. Boost or ensure?
Actually, I've tried both Boost and Ensure because I'm one of those people who has trouble keeping weight on.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try another one here.
That got too real, didn't it? It got way too real. You're like, oh, poor her. She needs her body fat percentage to go up.
Girls usually describe me as more of a Picard than a Kirk.
That's all right. See, the reason why I'm with my partner is because he has his bachelor's in archaeology and is a British man. So, Patrick Stewart went to Bristol as Vic. So,
Well, there you go. Right.
yeah. So the Picard one might work on me.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I describe myself as a Spock raised by Kirks. So that's like, if you can enter a Picard into my life, then we have a good balance.
Well, you kind of have elfish features, so in a cute way, not in a bad way, not in
a Santa's elves way.
not in an Uruk-hai way.
Not in a corrupted. You're a Balrog is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So, well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to work on these pickup lines. So,
I think don't use pickup lines.
no, but see what I do is I use my bad ones, and it usually works because they're so bad.
Because they're laughing.
Mm.
That's all right as long as you're actually funny.
No, they've actually worked. Though. I've done well with these bad lines. So, you are yet another test case of
I don't know.
my ongoing mad science experiment. Where
I'm a bit of an anomaly. I'm not sure if you can count me in it. Because I don't think I've ever been picked up, ever. I'm the pick-upper.
Oh.
So.
Bubbly, effervescent, and spicy, feisty. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, I don't, go out and find people. I have friends, and then it turns into something else, and I'm like, hey there, I think you're my soulmate.
See, I don't have friends, so that's what I do is I stalk girls online and I just use my bad pickup lines. See.
Yeah, I hope that's gonna go well for you. You just keep making that list. I highly recommend Friends because they introduce you to other people.
Yeah.
And I also recommend all the time because I do tarot readings for people, and so many people come to me about love stuff. Love matters, and especially with finding people like want a certain person in their lives, and like. The major thing is, with that whole thing is, like, just do stuff you enjoy doing, and then you're around people who enjoy doing the same thing, and then the odds are that, you could hit it off, and then at least you have something in common.
Oh, here we go. Now you're Dr. Ruth. Okay, so I guess
But if you don't find someone, at least, like, you're doing something that you like. So, like, if you're really into wine and cheese, do that. Like, if you want to go bungee jumping, do it with a group. There's groups for everything these days. The internet, If you're into, like, steampunk costuming or, hermeticism, you can find a group anywhere. Maybe not hermeticism as much, but...
That's a great way to find crazy weirdos, so that's probably a good...
Hey, there are some really lovely ones.
I hear crickets in the background, so those are crickets from my pickup lines, actually.
They're left over, still cricketing. They stuck around. They hadn't done enough, because I couldn't make the right cricket.
These are gold, baby. These are world famous, and there's going to be about 1,000 guys right now ripping these off, writing them down, trying them out.
I know.
So you're a test case.
All of your like Dionysian theater type of references to read, and next to that, it says that you're more of a Picard. You into it?
Yeah, and you're quite the Vulcan with your elvish features. So, MaryBeth, this has been a lot of fun.
Of course.
You were more bubbly and fun than I expected.
Did you expect me to be super serial?
I expected you to be this sophisticate New York serious girl who doesn't joke around. I thought we were going to get hardcore, but you're goofy and bubbly. That's fun.
I am goofy. Both of my parents were gym teachers, so I can't really claim too much snobbery, honestly.
So you did tumbling. You didn't actually do gymnastics. You did tumbling.
I did gymnastics.
I'm kidding.
And then
You know what tumbling is, right?
Is this a joke about the internet?
No, tumbling. When I was a kid, my brother, when he was little, he took...
Is it another sex joke, Jay?
It is not. This is a completely...
I'm shocked.
Joke.
I'm shocked.
This is not... This has been a completely PG-13 show. This hasn't been that bad. But, he would say he took gymnastics, and I'd always have to correct him because I was like, no, you were at the babysitter's and you took tumbling. and tumbling was just the little kids like rolling and flopping around. So I don't really, I guess it was pre-gymnastics, but it was called tumbling. So.
Aw. Well, tumbling, like the last tumbling class I took was at a circus place. And it was like, round off, back handspring, back tuck. That's tumbling.
Mm.
Like elements of a floor routine is tumbling to me.
Yeah, but it's my brother. I got to make him look bad, so I can't.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be something goofy.
He's gonna like totally pull ninja moves on you someday, and you are going to eat your words.
Yeah, probably. Well, this has been exciting, and I'm going to put up obviously links to all of your stuff, and
cool.
So tell us where we can. What is it? MaryBethSchroeder.com? No, it's MB.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay.
It's MaryBethSchroeder.com is like sort of my hub where my social media stuff is. I'm really active on Twitter. I'm Yes MaryBeth on Twitter.
All right.
See, can you tell I was going to be enthusiastic? I'm not no MaryBeth. I'm Yes MaryBeth.
You're MaryBeth.
Okay, MaryBeth. No, I'm Yes MaryBeth on Twitter. And I guess as we decide where we're going to host my show Casual Hex, which is that surrealist web series that I did, that'll go up on my Twitter in time. But you can find everything on my website, MaryBethSchroeder.com, or just, I encourage people to become friends with me on the Twitter. And, yeah. And my music is at soundcloud.com/MaryBethS.
I'll put a link to that and
That's cool.
and a warning. I'm kidding. So, what are you reading right now, MaryBeth?
What am I reading right now? I'm rereading the last in the Song of Ice and Fire series. And I'm also reading Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash again, because I'm doing 2 rereads at once. I think if it's your reread, you can do 2 at once.
Have you read Cryptonomicon?
No, I haven't. Actually, Snow Crash is the only one of his that I've read.
Okay.
Which is weird, but...
Neil Stephenson's pretty good.
Yeah.
Cryptonomicon is fascinating, so...
What are you reading right now, Jay?
I have about 15 books I'm always reading at once, so I've got Mircea Eliade on the religious history of ideas, so he's got a trilogy, history of religious ideas. He has a fascinating comparative religion treatise. I'm reading a couple books on geopolitics and a couple books on esoterica. There's just so many. I can't even. Eros and the Mysteries of Love by Julius Evola is really good. I read that recently.
Cool.
So, what else is there? I could keep going, but the audience will be put to sleep by the time I finish.
There's always a ton of books that I use as reference with esoteric stuff, like, because I'm so deeply in love with the Kabbalah that I'm always going back to Dion Fortune's Mystical Kabbalah when I'm doing a script or something. It's something that, like, it puts me at ease. Like, I like touch back down with that kind of stuff very, very often. And I'm really glad I have a Kindle, honestly.
I'll tell you a book that you would like that's really good that I recently read. Ioan Culianu. And Culianu was I believe the understudy of Iliada, but the book is called Out of This World. And he's Romanian, so it's Couliano. And it would relate to theater and acting because it's about other realms, other worlds, hence the title Out of This World.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to subject change, but go ahead.
No, that's it. It's Shambhala.
I've written it down.
Yeah, Shambhala Press, and so it's kind of about shamanism, and not that I'm not necessarily saying that that's what I'm into, but the idea of the consciousness perceiving other levels of reality I am very much into in terms of Platonism and metaphysics. So
yeah, of course. You don't have to be into it to have read the book. I feel like it was like, listen, I'm not a shaman.
Yeah, but I've got a lot of there's a lot of readers who will kind of be waiting for any recommendation, so I have to have caveats. But what were you going to say?
I was wondering if you knew anything about your natal astrology.
Well, I know when I was born.
Oh, so you've never had your chart done? Or have you done your own?
I think some girl did one time. I don't remember what all, but I don't know the exact time. But I have this, I have this neat book that is pretty good in terms of we've used it. We've tested about 30 people with this book that I have. So
which book is it?
Where is it? It's big fat book that I got from just like Barnes and Noble or somewhere. That's just the way that they did it. I thought was good was they compared like 300 historical figures that were born on each day.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, they tried to kind of draw a personality profile, an aggregate from all the well-known people born on a certain day. So I found that to be strikingly accurate with
who's born on you.
Well, I'm Martin Luther King is January 15th.
Oh, cool.
And there's a couple actors I can't recall. It's been a while since I've looked who's born on my day, but yeah. So
I have Alan Turing and Joss Whedon and the choreographer Bob Fosse.
So you've got the arts with a little bit of mathematics and mechanics there. So you do the mechanics as well. That makes sense.
Yeah, we're all the June 23rders.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that because that would actually, it would be funny to read your page and see if it's accurate. So you want to do that real quick?
Yeah, let's do it. I want to know.
All right. All right. I've got my big fat astrology magician workbook.
Is that what
So it is called Secret Language of Birthdays.
Secret Language of Birthdays, go.
All right. This is supposed to be you, and we're going to see if this is right.
Okay.
By the way, Alfred Kinsey is born on your day.
Oh, I see. That's great.
Yeah. Complete degenerate. Now, let's see. Those born on June 23rd often take up with love relationships. Well, I guess, lame. That's every fucking person born any day.
June 23rd, in some systems, when you are attributing the minor arcana of the tarot to days, is Two of Cups. So it's, there's a love theme there.
All right, well, let's see. Either those or others or their own. Indeed, they value a close relationship with their mate above all else and do everything they can to enchant the other party or to be super appreciative of their charms. It is the intensely magnetic feelings of being in love which so mesmerize these people. Added magic is given to this day through the fact that June 23rd is often celebrated as Midsummer's Eve. If students of love, those born on this day, want to know the motivations of people seeking each other out. What are they physically like? Every detail about their intimacies, etc. Such a study does not imply voyeurism, but neither does it rule it out. Oh, you're a voyeur perv. We got you. Relationships, of course, are the stuff of most people's lives, but when it comes to the intensity of one-on-one romantic relationships, June 23rd are hard to match, yet it is not only their emotions that direct them, but their entire social context of the affair. Those born on this day are very much a part of society. In their interests and lifestyle, they are rarely found running off to the woods with their mate. They are not shy about sharing news about their love with others. They enjoy social benefits, blah, blah, blah. Unless their religion demands it, however, whether they are married or not is of no great importance to them. They are drawn to the enchantment of art, music, and literature. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
It is always the splendid characters, the magical themes or orchestration, the enchanting colors and shapes which attract them. That sounds like you.
Yeah. Enchanting colors only, please. I definitely, I'm driven by love and I'm not afraid to say it. And I think that there are so many harshly feminist vibes in this world that have come down on me because I'm driven by love. And I've always been driven by love. I've learned all of my lessons through uninhibitedly loving and even the wrong people, until I found the right person. And I'm not afraid to say that is what drives me.
What is love? Baby,
don't hurt me. Don't hurt me.
The Hadaway philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, that's tattooed on my heart. The Hadaway song. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That and LaBouche and numerous other cookie cutter 90s dance songs.
Yeah,
so,
but only about love because the astrology said so.
Call him Mr. Raider. Call him Mr. Wrong. Call him insane.
I'm glad you meant
I know what I want.
I want it now. I want you. Oh yeah.
So we're accurate, right? We've described you in total. That's totally you.
Yeah, it is. It is because I think it's kind of hard to be that person these days because everyone's like, you're an independent woman, and I'm like, well, what if I want to be in a partnership and have that drive me, and that's okay too? Is it okay too?
Now this says your negative sides. Let's see if the negative
go
sides are
for
right.
it. Yeah.
Indiscreet. You're prying. You're over involved. Is that true?
Yes.
Ooh. Oh damn. Damn.
I think I'm especially over involved. I think I've grown wise because I know that I can be a little bit like, hey, what's up? What's your thing? Tell me stuff. So I've chilled it out a lot. But like the thing is like having a dark side. It's all about knowing you have it and then balancing it in a way that like works for you. So...
Well, this says that you have a knowledge of the esoteric and that you have authority over things unseen because you are the Hierophant in your tarot deck. Is that true?
I'd say so. That's very accurate. That's very accurate. It's interesting because I recently got a birth path reading with associative tarot cards where they do the first card as your sun sign, so I'm a Cancer, so I'd be the Chariot, and the second card as your birth path number, and I'm a number 8, so I'm Strength. And then the third card is called your Secret Teacher, and what I was told is that the Secret Teacher card is the one that sort of helps you evolve out of, or balance your dark side a little more, and mine was 1 plus 7, so which is 8, so I was 17, the star. And I found that reading to be really insightful. So it's like the first card is the associative with your sun sign. The second card is your birth path number, and the third one is like an extrapolation, Kabbalistic numerology of the number. So it's like something plus something equals your number. So mine's birth path is 8, so mine's 1 plus 7, so 17. I found that reading to be really, really insightful. I love this sort of thing because, you know, you can tell where you're projecting onto it from yourself, because humans are limitless. The personality is a construct. We all have access to have any facet of any personality we've ever even known about, because willpower exists, and that's a thing, and that's powerful, and that's our tool as humans. So it's interesting when people read these sort of things and look at these sort of things, what, you know, the things that they respond to, I find often are things that are already there. Just like when you see someone in a film or a story that you feel connected with, that you feel represents you, like those things were already you. You know, if you're seeing in a role model in the outside world, it's because that's part of you. And so you already are the thing. And so with all of this, I just feel like that there's this flowy, receptive quality to it where you can take it or leave it no matter what, because the personality is a limitless thing. But I find that, like, I think especially with astrology, it's like there are tons of predispositions where, you know, you can lean into your strengths. So it's pretty cool. What does your birthday say? Do you mind reading it?
No, I don't care. It's completely accurate too, which is
cool.
Creepy, scary. Let me pull
Does it creep you out?
Not literally. I mean, I'm just saying figuratively. It's creepy, accurate, not. Oh,
I see. Because I think, like,
I didn't dribble in my panties.
Oh, good.
I'm not
good.
scared.
I wouldn't want you to have to go change.
It's okay. I'm not wearing any panties right now. Anyway. Oh.
That line's not going to work. You can put
that's
that
not
on
a good pickup
line.
line. I think that's a great. I'm going to write that down. Hey, baby, I'm not wearing any panties.
Because I'm afraid of peeing in them.
I am writing that down right now. I'm not wearing any panties. I'm definitely using that for my.
Let me know if it gets you, babes.
Hey, my bad pickup lines get me plenty of babes. I'm telling you.
Wow. Okay.
I hear skepticism on your end, but.
You know, whatever works for you. I don't have your experiences. I can't tell you what's right for you, and I believe you. Why would you lie?
Exactly. Let's see. January 15th. They encounter the theme of heroism their entire lives. I'm a hero. I'm a hero.
Calling up a hero till the end of the night.
Exactly. Let's see.
Okay.
It is incumbent upon them at some point in time to find their fearless center, and after discovering it, rely on it thereafter in crisis and stress. Often those born on this day are unaware of their heroic nature until fate calls upon them.
Or until they read this book.
Exactly, in a challenge which reveals it in full. Up to this time, it is quite likely that they have led a fairly moderate, perhaps ordinary life. Not true. Fucking awesome. The event or events that lead to this self-actualization are likely to come about in their late 20s. Okay, that's true. I turned awesome in my late 20s. There we go. That's accurate. January 15th, people often manifest hero worship. Yeah, I had a lot of heroes in the 20s. with fantasy figures, they are magnetically drawn to certain key individuals. That's true. In their 30s, they take on self-discovery. These guides, teachers, and mentors usually have a profound influence on their career. They express a lot of rebellion, and they are attached to sensual pleasures. Well, that's pretty much true. Yeah, mine's pretty accurate for the most part.
That's pretty cool that you found a thing that... Have you ever read Cosmos and Psyche by Richard Tarnas?
I have not.
Read Cosmos and Psyche by Richard Tarnas. That is my hugest, biggest recommendation for you and all your listeners.
Okay, and what can we expect in Cosmos and Psyche by Richard Tarnas?
Tarnas, Tarnas. It's
the TARDIS, like the TARDIS.
No, not the TARDIS, not time and relative dimension. It's spice. This book it's sort of like it's a balancing of worldviews. So it goes through the esoteric descriptions of the planets, and it goes through some events that have happened in the world at certain times during different planetary alignments and transits in astrology. And it's really great because I think especially what hooked me on this book was the preface or the intro was really phenomenal, and I just kept reading. And it's sort of the thing that got me into astrology and got me sort of aware that you could hold two worldviews at once. You could hold the very practical worldview where we quantify things and look at science, and you could hold the very symbolic worldview at the same time. And it's a very beautiful thing.
That does sound neat.
It's a beautiful book. It's mind-blowing. I read it a few years ago, and then a chaos magician gave me a copy of that, and then a stage magician gave me a copy of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. And Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell was too heavy to carry around in the subway, so I ended up reading Cosmos and Psyche first.
Okay. Well,
and yeah,
that's
my story.
I've got some perfect songs to intro and outro for this interview then.
Awesome.
Given your chaos description there and your reference to teachers. You've mentioned teachers twice, so I have an extremely annoying, ridiculous song titled Teachers that I will play. And I will also integrate a little bit of your musical skills, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. I have the score that I did for Casual Hex is, I think it's like, I lifted the intellectual property on it so that people could use it for anything. Mm-hmm. And it's at marybeth.bandcamp.com, and it's my weird compositions that are ambient and bizarre. So
that's what I like. Yes.
Like, welcome to use that for whatever you like.
Cool. All right. Well, this has been fun. We know that you will be working on a master's. What are you going to be doing otherwise? I mean, are you going to make any more music? Can we listen to your fat beats?
Yeah, I'm almost constantly making fat beats, Jay. I'm always making music. It's like my form of vomiting. I don't know, it just comes out. And so I'm constantly putting things up musically, and I have some exciting stuff coming out over the next year. So like if you follow me on Twitter, you'll be able to see where you can watch me on the television.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you, I beatbox, so I've got a 7-hour clip of me beatboxing straight.
Do you need some feedback on that?
No, I want you to integrate it into something, and I want you to use the whole clip. 7 hours straight, you got to use it all.
Right.
You could do some interpretive dance on top of my beatboxing for 7 hours.
My master's course is a conservatoire, Jay, and it's very intensive. I have to put in like 40 hours a week. I'm not sure if I can spare 7.
Oh, this is worth it. I'm telling you. This is the new thing. It's me beatboxing with a babe dancing for 7 hours.
I can't. I'm Screen Actors Guild. I can't appear on video unless I have a contract.
Well, white your face out.
Nobody will know, except for the secret listeners who are hearing this now.
You can wear a Renaissance eyes wide shut mask, ball mask, and
appropriate.
You can do water aerobics and Zumba and spin class to my
This
V-Bucks.
seems like a ton of effort and planning.
I have high expectations for my
I have a thing that people can watch that's coming out soon. It's called Gut Boy, A Bad Time Story, and there's tons and tons of magic and esoteric symbolism in it. It'll be kind of in the indie, festival circuit coming up. It's called Gut Boy. I play a giant and I wrestle a dude. I can tell you that.
Are you the Gut Boy or?
No, it's a marionette film. It's this grindhouse style. Crazy, I'm so lucky I get to make such weird movies kind of movie. But it's like a grindhouse style with puppets, with these crazy marionette puppets that was done on a stage, like a sound stage in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I play a giantess in it, so it's me playing the giant. And then there's a male giant as well, but everyone else is a puppet.
Okay.
It's pretty great.
That will be fun. We will look for that. You could get with your porn friend and do giant porn, where you crush things.
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't do porn. She does. There's a distinction. That's her.
Well, I think.
But she does tons of fetish stuff.
Step on stuff. You don't really have to do anything. But you can wear a mask, so we don't know about you, I guess. But. All right, so
okay. On that stepping on things note, so that people can have orgasms.
If you're gonna step on a bug, what would it be?
I wouldn't. Oh my gosh, I had to kill one in my room last night because it was a mosquito, and I kind of get like very, very sad if I have to kill a bug.
I would get turned on if a girl stepped on a mosquito.
No. I had to kill it. I can't touch them if I have to kill them. If I can't bring him outside, if there's no way to do it, I have to kill it. I do it with like a cloth or something, and then I throw the cloth away. I feel pain when I have to hurt something.
Even when it's a mosquito?
Oh yeah, I mean, I am aware mentally, with my mental fortitude that it's you or me, buddy, get out of here. But there's still a part of me that's like, I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm killing something, and I hate that. It's not a fun feeling for me. So.
Gotcha. Duly noted. Well, we've got your book recommendation. We've got your plugs and your links and your fancy stuff you're doing. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk soon. And
I hope so.
Yeah. This is jaysanalysis.com with Jay Dyer.